All right, everybody. Go ahead and call the regular city council meeting of September 22nd, 2025 to order. Roll call, please.
Zazada.
Here.
Larson.
Here.
Smith.
Here.
Carlson.
Here.
Powell.
Yeah, here.
Verbic. Here. Walker.
Here.
Mayor Barnes.
Here.
8 present.
All right, moving on to agenda item B, Pledge of Allegiance. Mr. Captain Hy-Vee, can you lead us in the pledge, sir? Thank you, Mr. Gentry. All right, moving on to agenda item C, approval of the agenda. I would take a motion to approve the agenda.
Mayor, I would like to amend the agenda
Okay, what would you like to do?
to add reconsideration of ordinance 2025-039.
You talking solar farm?
Yes.
Ordinance that we
yes.
discussed last time?
Yep.
Okay.
The intent is to take the matter, table the matter until the applicant can meet residents of the enclave and return to a future council meeting for consideration.
So your hard no is different now?
No.
Okay, all right. Well, so there's a motion before the council. Do I have a second?
Second.
So we have a
Second.
motion by Alderwoman Zazada, a second by Alderwoman Larson. I guess comments or questions?
I was gonna say, to be clear, it's just a motion to amend the agenda.
Correct.
After that, you would have a motion to reconsider that particular item, and then after that, a motion to table it, if that's how people want to do it.
Okay, so a motion, modify the agenda, we'll approve that. Then a motion to, what was the last second part?
To reconsider.
To reconsider it, yep. And then another motion after that to table it. Roll call after each one?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
So we have a motion and a second. Any comments or questions? Hearing none. Okay, roll call, please.
Larson.
Yes.
Smith.
No.
Carlson.
Yes.
Powell.
No.
Verbic.
No.
Walker.
No.
Zazada.
Yes.
And Mayor Barnes.
City Attorney, can you help me out on that one?
Yeah, well, this is just for the motion to amend the agenda. So it's 3 in favor right now, 4 against. If you were to vote, it would be a tie vote, and that would carry to amend it, and then you'd have a motion to consider for the motion to reconsider would come up next.
So you're saying my vote matters in moving this forward? Okay,
Yeah, you have the ability to vote on the approval of the agenda,
okay.
and so it would be,
Well, I've been a yes to this project since day one, so I would be a yes then. All right.
so this is,
Okay, 4-4.
yeah, so I would say that the motion to amend the agenda has passed, and then
Okay.
you're going to consider the motion to reconsider
The ordinance itself.
the ordinance itself, and that, just for the record, is just to whether, it's not the underlying vote, so you're just saying whether you want to have that ability to reconsider the vote again. That motion has to be made by somebody that was, that voted against, or voted in favor of the, that was on the prevailing side last time, which was the vote against the annexation amendment. So this is not a vote on whether you want the annexation amendment to
Right.
pass or not. It's just on whether you want to bring it to
Okay.
back.
What about Alderwoman Larson wasn't here? How does that work?
She can second it. She can't bring the motion.
Okay, all right, gotcha. So I would take a motion then, I guess, to reconsider ordinance 2025-039.
You did
Well-
make it.
Well, wait, what?
I'm sorry. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think somebody needs to bring that motion. Yes. Yeah.
So moved.
Can't be you.
Yeah.
It has to be someone that was against it last time, yes.
So moved.
So I have a
Second.
motion and a second. So moved by Alderwoman Zazada, seconded by Alderwoman Larson. Roll call, please.
Smith.
No.
Carlson.
Yes.
Powell.
No.
Verbic.
No.
Walker.
No.
Zazada.
Yes.
Larson.
Yes.
Mayor Barnes.
Still yes.
4-4.
All right. Now I would take a motion to table this discussion of ordinance 2025-039.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Alderman Carlson, seconded by Alderwoman Zazada. Comments or questions? Fascinating. Without that, then I guess roll call. Yes.
I will make a comment. I just want to be clear, since you brought up my hard no before. My hard no previously was fully in relation to the community's response. That community response has not changed yet. However, I've spoken with the applicant, and I'm looking to see if further communication and explanation from the applicant has an impact on the community and their wishes.
Awesome. Yes, Alderwoman Larson.
And while I wasn't here 2 weeks ago, I was here listening to everybody for the whole meeting. And I've always been so proud of being part of the city of DeKalb, the council, everybody. I mean, to say that everybody is so professional, but we're also human. And I think any little glitch that could have happened with this from all different committees or what have you to social media, which we know can throw a wrench in anything, any topic with misinformation. I just felt for this and for future groups and companies that might want to consider DeKalb, whether for whatever reason, that they'll look at it and say, they're professional, they get things done correctly, and if we don't, we're the first ones to say, you know, not our best showing. Let's really give everybody the time that's due on this, and then whatever the vote is, it could still say the same. We can say we handled it in the professional manner that we usually always handle things on, and this just didn't happen. So that's why I am for this. Not necessarily that I'm for changing the vote, but I think it needs to be handled better. Thank you.
I couldn't agree. Great way to summarize that, Alderwoman Larson. It is important, and I know it's important to everyone here at council, that we always maintain a level of professionalism, a level of investigation. We try and find out everything we can about a particular topic before it comes to vote. And then when it comes before council, we can vote accordingly. So I'm totally fine. I've been for this project, like I said, since the beginning, so I'm glad it seems like there's more people that want to have a conversation about it now. All right, so roll call, please.
Powell.
No.
Verbic.
No.
Walker.
No.
Zazada.
Yes.
Larson.
Yes.
Smith.
No.
Carlson.
Yes.
Mayor Barnes.
Yes.
4-4.
And City Attorney, I just got to clarify again, since the mayor's vote is different, me voting yes is according to our ordinance and according to state statute to move this forward.
Yeah, you have the right to vote on the procedural matter under state law and under our.
Just want it
municipal
clarified for the
code.
record.
Yeah.
All right, I
And
appreciate
then,
it, sir.
Yeah, you'll have the right to vote on the underlying annexation ordinance or agreement, but, yep.
Yeah. Real quick, those sitting in the audience, the reason why I'm asking this question, I get a lot of heat for voting. And according to state statute, the mayor doesn't vote. Just sits here and runs a meeting, and the council has the deciding factor on what happens. Our city attorney carefully watches every vote to make sure the vote that I cast doesn't actually contribute towards the passing or the rejection of something. And if it does, he'll bring it up at that time. I personally feel it's really important that everyone in the city of DeKalb knows where I stand on every single issue. And I always vote so everyone knows where I stand. I think that's important. But the city attorney does an amazing job keeping us on task with state statute to make sure that my vote doesn't change the outcome of anything unless, according to state statute and our ordinances, that is appropriate. All right, so we modified the agenda, we decided to reconsider this, and we tabled it. So that which should bring us to agenda item D, presentations. Am I correct, City Attorney? Yep.
Yes.
On track.
Yes.
All right, thank you. He is an expert in Robert's Rules of Order, so I always refer to the City Attorney. All right, with that, we have a proclamation, and I adore starting meetings with these. So this is about Fire Prevention Week, October 5th through 11th, 2025. So whereas the City of DeKalb is committed to ensuring the safety and security of all those living in and visiting DeKalb, and fire remains a serious public safety concern, which we know firsthand, both locally and nationally, and the presence of lithium-ion batteries in many household devices introduces unique fire risks. And most of the electronics used in homes daily, including smartphones, tablets, laptops, power tools, e-bikes, e-scooters, and toys, are powered by lithium-ion batteries, which, if misused, damaged, or improperly charged, can overheat, start a fire, or explode. The fire service reports an increase in battery-related fires, underscoring the need for public education on the safe use of lithium-ion batteries. And residents should follow 3 key calls to action: buy only listed products, charge batteries safely, and recycle them responsibly to prevent battery-related fires. And lithium-ion batteries store a large amount of energy in a small space, and improper use, such as overcharging, using off-brand chargers without safety certification, or exposing batteries to damage, can result in fire or explosion. And the proper disposal and recycling of lithium-ion batteries helps prevent environmental hazards and reduce fire risks in the home and community. The DeKalb Fire Department is dedicated to reducing the occurrence of fires through prevention, safety education, and community outreach. And the 2025 Fire Prevention Week theme, Charge into Fire Safety, Lithium-Ion Batteries in Your Home, serves to remind us of the importance of using, charging, and recycling lithium-ion batteries safely to reduce the risk of fires in homes and communities. Now therefore, I, Cohen Barnes, Mayor of the City of DeKalb, Illinois, by the authority vested in the office, do hereby proclaim October 5th through 11th, 2025 as Fire Prevention Week throughout DeKalb, and urge all the residents to check their smoke alarms, learn of the importance of using, charging, and recycling lithium-ion batteries safely during Fire Prevention Week 2025, and support the many public safety activities and efforts of the DeKalb Fire Department and all the fire departments across Illinois. So we have a lot of our fire department here to receive this proclamation. Let's give a round of applause for them bringing this to our attention, but also the work that they do every single solitary day. Yeah, that's everyone again. Come on. I know you don't like seeing the limelight. Here you go.
Mayor, one last thing. There's one other person in the audience who's here tonight just specifically for this, Acting Police Chief Jason John from NIU. And I think it's appropriate that he join this photograph because the collaboration between our 2 entities.
I know, right? Appreciate y'all. Have a great night. All right. By the way, if we ever cover the agenda item that you are here for, after it's covered, don't hesitate to get up, go about your night. We know you're busy people, so we don't expect you to stay. That is not offensive to us when you get up and leave, because we know you're gonna go forward and do great things in the city of DeKalb. All right, moving on to agenda item E, public participation. We have none. I've got your speaker request forms. I'll call you up at the agenda item that you requested, so don't think I have forgotten about you. Moving on to agenda item F, appointments, we have none. Agenda item G, the consent agenda. Minutes of the special city council and finance advisory committee meeting of August 18th, 2025. 2, minutes of the regular city council meeting of September 8th, 2025. 3, accounts payable and payroll through September 22nd, 2025 in the amount of $5,840,695.43. 4, investment and bank balance summary through July 2025. 5, year-to-date revenues and expenditures through July 2025. And 6, Freedom of Information Act FOIA report, August 2025. Can I have a motion to approve the consent agenda as is?
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Alderman Smith, seconded by Alderman Powell. Comments or questions, council? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Verbic.
Yes.
Walker.
Yes.
Zasada.
Yes.
Larson.
Yes.
Smith.
Yes.
Carlson.
Yes.
Powell.
Yes.
Mayor Barnes.
Yes. The consent agenda has been approved. All right, moving on to agenda item H, public hearings. We have none, which brings us to agenda item I, considerations. Number 1, addressing housing insecurity in DeKalb, an overview. So I have a bunch of speaker request forms for this. Let me confirm they're all the I-1s. Yes. All right, Sue Gaio. I think you're in there. There you are, Sue, come on up.
Well, I wasn't sure I needed to speak, so
That's up to you if you want to or not.
I don't think I will.
Okay, you got it, Sue. All right, then we have Tanisha Clegg. Tanisha is the Executive Director of the Family Service Agency.
Thank you.
And Tanisha, you have 3 minutes. I'd love to give you more, but maybe we'll
All
call
right,
you back
that's
up.
all I need, hopefully. So honorable members of the City Council, I'm here to address the housing insecurity in DeKalb County. So I just prepared something here I'd like to share. So homelessness remains a persistent and complex challenge. It cannot be solved overnight, and it clearly cannot be solved by criminalizing those who experience it. Let me be clear, homelessness is not a crime, and I do not support any efforts to treat it as such. Instead, we must approach this issue with respect, dignity, and understanding. To truly address homelessness, we must understand its root causes: trauma, poverty, generational and systemic barriers, and limited access to mental health care and employment services. At Family Service Agency of DeKalb County, FSA, our Community Action Program serves as the federally designated community action agency for DeKalb County. CAP is dedicated to tackling those root causes and supporting residents on their journey towards stability. Along with agencies such as Hope Haven, Ben Gordon Center, Safe Passage, and many others, we work daily to provide comprehensive solutions to poverty and homelessness. Community Action Program impact over the past year: 355 individuals received personalized one-on-one support. 134 families were empowered to achieve long-term stability. 24 homeless neighbors transitioned into permanent housing. 145 lives were rebuilt after devastating residential fires, and 588 individuals returned to work through employment support. Those outcomes represent real people, neighbors, families, and youth right here in DeKalb, whose lives have been transformed through compassionate, strategic intervention. We've learned that simply placing someone in a hotel or an apartment does not solve homelessness. While temporary shelter provides relief, it does not address the systemic challenges that caused homelessness in the first place. That's why CAP, Hope Haven, and other community partners provide wraparound services, case management, mental health support, employment coaching, and life skills training to help individuals and families achieve long-term stability. It's important to recognize that refusing shelter is a personal right. Individuals may decline services for many reasons, such as addiction, mental health, trauma, fear, or unmet expectations. While this happens, agencies and law enforcement continue to follow up, offering support and resources for when they are ready. We respect these choices and remain committed to outreach and engagement with the hopes of breaking down barriers over time. Hope Haven remains the county's only homeless shelter, and FSA is preparing to open a youth shelter for ages 14 to 17, expanding our continuum of care here in DeKalb County. Tonight, I want to emphasize that any DeKalb County resident experiencing homelessness has options. If you know someone in this situation, please encourage them to reach out to CAP at FSA, Hope Haven, or one of the many local organizations ready to uplift and walk alongside them towards stability and self-sufficiency. I read, the agenda that came out. My time's up. Never mind. So, help up, not hand out.
Love it. Thank you, Tanisha. All right, then we have Leslie Wicks.
mine won't be so structured like that. I'm more of a boots-on-the-ground person. I've been the executive director of Hope Haven for 30 years, so I come in with some experience. I met today with 3 of the people from the warming center, and we had a wonderful 3-hour talk. I think we decided that collaboration is really the key for working with the homeless and those who are unsheltered. Over the past years, we have received multiple calls, phone calls about homeless people or people who look homeless congregating on 4th Street. And of course, the first place they would call would be Hope Haven. Those aren't the people we're serving, and some of them aren't homeless, and it has in the past turned into a little bit of a party spot. I'll just give you 2 examples. Sorry, guys. But, you know, one of the examples is Jack. We do outreach. So if there's a homeless person, someone from the community will call us. Anybody can call us, and we'll go out and do outreach. Well, you know, a lot of people know Jack. And so we did multiple visits with Jack. And one time we were there, 3 staff, me, Gary, and Jenny. We got there, and he was smoking a joint, drinking a beer, eating Portillo's. And I said, Jack, come on, why don't you come back to Hope Haven? He said, are you kidding me? I'm living my best life. So, and the other situation is somebody that wasn't homeless, left Hope Haven, had been in and out of homeless for years due to addictions. And she was part of the group that would go there and, you know, talk to each other, do drugs, and just congregate. She was living with her sister, and in conjunction with her sister, we were trying to get her into treatment. And her sister was able to get her a bed on Friday. Well, on Wednesday, she was congregating with a group of people, and she was using heroin, and then she lives on 4th Street, and then she overdosed and died. And so I think that there has to be some changes. I think collaboration, like I said, is the key. Now, there are some limitations to Hope Haven. Some people don't want to come to Hope Haven. That's their choice, you know. We have 5 pages of rules, and you know, a lot of people don't want to abide by it. We have 65 people there. It's very important that people follow the rules. The other thing is we cannot serve sex offenders. You have to be from the county, DeKalb County, because say 80% of our, 80% of our funding is from DeKalb. City of DeKalb, Sycamore Township.
Hey, Leslie, I'm sorry, I lost track of time. I was engrossed in your conversation, so I actually have to cut you off at the 3-minute mark.
Oh, am I done?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Oh,
And
well.
it's because there's people out there that
Yeah.
abuse this situation.
Yeah. I
That
would
doesn't
just
mean we
say-
can't call you back as an expert witness, and I think in the course of our discussion,
Yeah.
Your counsel is going to be required in this
Okay, that sounds good. Thank you
decision
so
we make.
much.
So thanks, Leslie. All right, so consideration, I need a motion to bring it to the floor, correct? Yeah, so can I have a motion to bring this consideration to the floor?
So moved. Second.
Moved by Alderman Powell, seconded by Alderman Verbeek. City Manager.
Thank you, Mayor. I was the author of the hopefully a succinct summary, very limited, obviously, in its scope. And the purpose of this was to follow up a very also succinct but telling, I would say, presentation by a member of our community and someone who's been very much involved in homeless issues for a while in our community. And people who have spoken here tonight are certainly rank me in every respect on this topic. But I spent some time trying to thoughtfully portray something that faces all of us there is no simple answer to, as all the speakers alluded to. We are addressing human challenges that some are brought by events outside their control, some are possibly within their control, and others are maybe entirely within their control. But however a person gets to be homeless, we have to ask ourselves in our community, what are the services, if any, that we can provide, and what should we as a government be doing to help those people meet those challenges? So the point was not to presume to have answers tonight, but to I guess, really to test the council's interest in pursuing this further. We haven't had a joint community meeting around this, although let me hasten to say, there are social service agencies represented here tonight who are doing this, who are working with these problems every day. But we as a government are not in all those conversations. And is there something we should be doing and haven't been doing or could be doing and would like to do? So that's why it's on the agenda. That's why from time to time we have considerations of this weight, so that you can give some direction to our staff as to what we should be doing.
Part of the conversation, I've mentioned it before, that Leslie was gracious to give us a tour of Hope Haven, City Manager Nicholas and I, maybe 8 months ago, a year ago, I can't remember, and met with the board of directors afterward to just find out more about what's going on with homelessness. Dan Kenny and Maureen as well met with me probably a year ago, Dan, something like that, same thing. Gave me a great book to read as well. Again, just trying to seek some understanding. And then Tanisha Clegg with Family Service Agency has a request that'll be coming for council at some point, which is around teen homelessness, people being actually locked out. And we need to figure out our ordinances accordingly, like, can we allow that or not? What's on the books? And so I've been learning a lot, and I've spoken recently, as much as 2 weeks ago, with the mayor of Rockford, and then also I think it's the head of his Department of Human Services, who used to be the executive director of the Rockford Housing Authority. And just learning a lot about homelessness there, the Rockford Rescue Mission, how they handle things, just trying to get an understanding, because part of it came to a head where in all these conversations that I had, it was brought to my attention that we do have sex offenders that are homeless. And I think, like Leslie said, there's rules that they have, and they won't allow someone with a criminal record as a sex offender to be part of Hope Haven. Well, they're in our parks, so, okay, that's something I think council needs to be aware of situationally and figure out, what does that mean? What's out there maybe to help them get the services that they need. We also have some severely mentally ill people out there as well that are in our parks and on our streets that, okay, that's something we need to be aware of and figure out what we are doing. And then the other day, I went by the gazebo, like to and from to work for me is by there, so I'm by there multiple times a day. There was a gentleman urinating in the park back to the street, which was great. But then also I just smelled marijuana throughout the place. So there's this issue of, we've got some amazing organizations and some amazing volunteers in our community trying to figure out how we're going to take care of our homeless population. But because there is the public safety element to everything, there is the entire city of DeKalb that we got to think of. And what could we do, or what is on the books right now that might be negatively impacting some people? And I think we have that with the church, and we're gonna address that per our conversation. Okay, there's laws in place that we may need to change in order to support, but then there's some laws we may need to implement as well, because as some of the organizations know, there's national organizations out there that prey upon these populations, especially those that are succumbing to alcoholism and literally renting places and putting them up almost as like a rooming house in our community. And I've heard over and over and over again, in fact, the universal theme I keep hearing about is we have to figure out and do everything we can to get people to the services Leslie was just talking about. So someone doesn't do heroin and end up passing away because of that addiction? How can we figure out how to get people to the right services in our community? So that's what this conversation ultimately, or the evolution of this conversation, and city manager and I thought it'd be worthwhile bringing it to council to just start this conversation of what is the homeless situation we have in the city of DeKalb, and then two, where does council and the city contribute to this issue that we have here, and how can we make sure that we're utilizing our partners as much as we can and being a good partner to them to make sure that our homeless population gets access, even at times where they need a little bit more than a nudge, get access to the resources that are out there that, quite frankly, can change their life, but also save their life. So that's what this is about. I'm not sure, city manager, what you're hoping we
So-
head not on, or just chat about this, or what do you want to do?
There, as I mentioned, there are people far more than I
Yeah.
who understand issues and also possible options that may exist for persons who find themselves homeless in whatever form that may be. And I think it's important to get engaged because this council and previous councils have generally operated with the notion that for homeless in particular in our community, that there are some specific needs that need to be met. We have funded in I think a generous way a lot of social service agencies over the years for our human services program. CDBG also funds to a certain extent many of the same organizations. But is there something more we need to look at? And can we just engage with the voices who are dealing with this every day? And if we do that, maybe what I can bring to the council as we look at our budgets from year to year, and we're in that process already, we can maybe hone and sharpen where we are putting our resources. And if this becomes a high priority, then that's what, and I think it is, from what I've heard tonight, then maybe that affects also how we direct our funding. So to put it most sharply, I think, Mayor, and this is something you and I have talked about. I'm sorry to put you on the spot here, but Mayor certainly has the power to appoint some kind of a ad hoc committee that can look into this, and I would assume that would be largely peopled by persons who are working with the homeless in our community.
Yeah, so I'm assuming this is one of those that everyone just nods their head on, but I could be wrong. But I would like to, what I've learned from the Hope Havens, the family service agencies, the church itself has been impactful. And like Bill said, we've talked about what if we form a little more formalized group to truly have some real dialogue about it and come up with some recommendations that the city could possibly be a better partner in the situation you all are trying to address. I'm seeing heads nodding in the audience, so I assume we're good there. What about heads nodding from council? All right. So all of you, let's look to your email. We'll be sending something out and setting up a date to actually have this conversation, formalize what this looks like a little bit more, and then start developing whatever the recommendation might be that we bring before council. And I know we have some immediate needs, like with Family Service Agency, just making sure that we're not going to impact what you're trying to accomplish. And then Dan, same thing with you all. That way we can get these things before council, make the modifications that we need, and be able to move forward. Okay. All right, city manager, yeah, that's good. All right, well, thank you, council. Hey, everyone here on this particular issue, that's a wrap on it. So I know how busy many of you are, so please go forth and continue doing your wonderful missions. All right, that brings us to resolutions. J1, Resolution 2025-083, authorizing an intergovernmental agreement for shared police protection services with the Board of Trustees of Northern Illinois University. Can I have a motion to bring this to the floor?
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Alderman Smith, seconded by Alderwoman Zazada. City manager.
Thank you. And there's another reason why Acting Chief John is here
Yes.
tonight, and it's to participate in this discussion. As I mentioned in my background, the city of DeKalb and NIU have had an intergovernmental agreement in place since 2014 to encourage more interaction between the two police agencies. And what's proposed to you tonight is I guess, a layering and a more polishing of that relationship as we've seen it grow to this point. So I want to make sure that I wanted to make sure in the resolution before you and the attached agreement that people understand what those particular reciprocal duties are. What's proposed here is that sworn NIU officers could arrest, could cite, enforce violations in a patrol area that is roughly comprised by the area north of the Union Pacific Railroad and west of Garden Road in the city. And this is essentially where that shared patrol area has been since 2014. And that NIU it would be willing to be responsible for all the arrests and investigations that any action by their officers would initiate. In other words, it's not going to be a handoff here. These are our peers and are willing to take on an issue and then follow it through. And then also in any kind of emergency, the university would, a bona fide emergency, unfortunately we've had some in the past, and the city's sworn officers would be invited to help with the patrol and exercise their statutory powers on campus. Neither party obviously is looking for compensation or reimbursement for any of this reciprocal activity. It carries forward a spirit of cooperation which is necessary I think in our community, and the chiefs of both agencies and their command staffs have all had a chance to review this. Our respective attorneys have had a chance to review it. We strongly recommend your approval.
Council, questions or comments on this? Well, Acting Chief John, I've been on multiple ride-alongs and listening to our officers talk about your leadership at NIU and the relationship that we have. It's solid. And then in my role, I obviously regularly, and city manager and I meet with the leadership of Northern Illinois University, and we talk about just relations between the city and NIU, and obviously PD is always one of the ones that we cover. But the respect level that is discussed for you and the leadership that you've given that job at this point, because it's still acting chief, right? Yeah. Hopefully that gets addressed to, we remove a word. But it's been great. So I just wanted to express my appreciation on how well you've been able to continue the relationship and, quite frankly, enhance the relationship that we have between NIU's police department and DeKalb Police Department. I think that says a lot about you and the career that you've had. All right, I guess roll call.
Walker,
Yes.
Zazada,
Yes.
Larson,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Carlson,
Yes.
Powell,
Yes.
Verbic,
Yes.
Mayor Barnes.
Yes. Resolution 2025-083 passes. Acting Chief, thank you for coming. You're more than welcome to continue on, sir. All right, moving on to number 2, Resolution 2025-084, authorizing a Fund 400 Architectural Improvement Program AIP grant for Nadal Musle, excuse my pronunciation, sir, for the property located at 1215 Blackhawk Road in the amount of $25,000. Can I have a motion to bring this to the floor?
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Alderwoman Zazada, seconded by Alderwoman Larson. City Manager.
Thank you, Mayor. The petitioner is the contract purchaser of the property at 1215 Blackhawk Road. Many of you know it as the former Fanaticos. The petitioner entered the contract in May of '24, so a little over a year ago. His intention has been to remodel that former restaurant into a grocery store on the first floor, business office on the second floor. He's been working with our building and development department ever since, and has been working incrementally with the general contractor to do a lot of, well, first of all, there's a lot of cleaning work, because after a fire which happened the previous year, there was a lot of spoiled food and other things that just sat there for months at a time, so that was all removed and, walls scrubbed and cleaned, and then the real work began. There was a lot of necessary plumbing and HVAC and electrical work to support the new floor plan. The estimated overall remodeling work exceeded $100,000. The electrical, plumbing, and HVAC improvements alone exceeded one-half of that total, so according to our non-TIF AIP guidelines, a project can be reimbursed for 50% of the qualified electrical, plumbing, and mechanical improvements. There are receipts and details in your background tonight, but we believe it met the requirements of the program, and we support this proposal.
Council, any comments or questions on this? Alderwoman Zada?
I'm just excited to see progress on the building in my ward, so that's really exciting. Thank you for your work.
Any other comments or questions? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Zazana,
Yes.
Larson,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Carlson,
Yes.
Powell,
Yes.
Verbic,
Yes.
Walker,
Yes.
Mayor Barnes.
Yes. Resolution 2025-084 passes. How about a round of applause for investment in that community? And sir, you do not have to stay. You're more than welcome to leave if you want. You bet. You got a lot to do. All right, moving on to resolution number 3, resolution 2025-085, authorizing a contract with Axon Enterprise Incorporated for the provision of police department body cams, tasers, squad car cameras, and unlimited digital storage for a 5-year term in the total amount of $1,247,755.20. Can I have a motion to bring this one to the floor?
So moved. Second.
Moved by Alderman Verbeck, seconded by Alderman Powell. City Manager.
Thank you, Mayor. Just want to stress this is a 5-year contract, and there are 3 important pieces to it. As you know, body cams have been used by our police department since 2021. There was a state mandate for their use that came out around that time, but we were ahead of the game there. We found them very, very useful, not only for recording for future, whether it's prosecution or for insurance claims and the like, information is needed by others, but also so that the victims or persons who are the other side of the camera are also able to have a record of the interaction between our police officers and themselves. And we have obviously ever since then used them every day. The particular product we have is manufactured and is maintained by Axon, which is probably the leader in this form of technology. There's a renewal contract before you tonight. It would provide 75 body cams. That's what the authorized sworn officer limit in our budget right now. And there's related equipment that goes with it. There are 2 other pieces to this overall contract with Axon, though. Another piece is that the tasers we have, which were some of the earliest versions, and have provided our officers a very important alternative to lethal force. And we strongly feel that they're important going forward, but they are obsolete now. And are coming to obsolescence. And so Axon also has a taser which would fit into our needs, and that's the second piece. And the third piece has to do with cameras in our squad cars. We've had a variety of systems in that particular use, and the problem with that is that some will go out in terms of obsolescence when others are still in use, and we've also not had consistency in the performance of them all from vehicle to vehicle. And so Axon, who has been in this particular business for a long time, but we have not been using them across all of our squad cars, has provided a proposal. It's included in the contract before you tonight. It would allow us to have digital video, that will provide front-facing, rear-facing, and interior cameras. And we would have 57, which is across the 19 vehicles that we have as frontline vehicles for the police department.
Council, questions, comments? Every dollar, I think, well spent. This is good stuff. All right, hearing no comments or questions, roll call, please.
Larson,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Carlson,
Yes.
Powell,
Yes.
Verbic,
Yes.
Walker,
Yes.
Zazada,
Yes.
Mayor Barnes.
Yes. Resolution 2025-085 passes. Moving on to number 4, Resolution 2025-086, approving a grant of easement from Nearing Electrical Works for a water main on property located at 1085 Peace Road. That's 1085 Peace Road. Can I have a motion to bring it to the floor?
So moved. Second.
Moved by Alderman Carlson, seconded by Alderman Smith. City Manager.
This is the, what is known as the Ryerson Building. It's just south of the area where the proposed Donato Solar was interested in locating. The owner, which is Nearing Electrical Works now, is proposing, I think, a pretty exciting expansion of their building to the south. And the purpose of this is to allow for a very particular machine that draws wire that needs additional length and breadth. And otherwise, the process of drawing the wire would have to be interrupted and at greater expense and less efficiency. And so the owner of the company has proposed an addition. It's 50 feet wide by 300 feet long. It just happens that there's an existing 12-inch city water main that serves a loop that goes around the building that would be right in the path of that extension. So for good reasons, and I'll agree on this, the water main needs to be looped further south. That will be done by the private parties, but we need an easement now to define a new location for that line as it's relocated, so that we can, our group, our workers can work within that easement in case there's a water main break in the future, hopefully not. So that's what's before you. It's pretty straightforward. Recommend your approval.
Questions or comments, council? Looking around, seeing none. All right, roll call, please.
Smith,
Yes.
Carlson,
Yes.
Powell,
Yes.
Verbic,
Yes.
Walker,
Yes.
Zazada,
Yes.
Larson,
Yes.
Mayor Barnes.
Yes. Resolution 2025-086 passes. Number 5, Resolution 2025-087, approving a license agreement with PAI Belvedere Farms LLC to access and inspect property for the proposed well number 18. Can I have a motion to bring it to the floor?
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Alderman Larson, seconded by Alderman Smith. City Manager.
Thank you, Mayor. Back in October of '23, the council, with reference to some rapid growth in our southeast side, authorized an engineering services agreement with Baxter and Woodman to prepare a strategic water model and master plan. And it took a little over a year, plus year and a half for that to be done. A final version of that was presented to the council on May 12th. There were 2 principal capital improvements that were recommended by the master plan. One of them is a new water transmission main on the southeast side to go down 23 to Keselier and back up the new Afton Road and tie into an existing loop that was built by others as Farrar and Meta were developing back in 2019 and 20. The other matter was the drilling of a new shallow well, would be known as Well 18, and that brings us to the point of this resolution. The master plan projects that on the basis of estimated population equivalents that by 2035, so 10 years, roughly 10 years from now, now this gets a little technical, our firm capacity, which means we're pumping and then we lose our best well and the pump goes out. And it costs us 2 million gallons a day. So under those circumstances, we were just approaching in 2035 what we need to provide for the needs of both residents and businesses in our community. In the shallow aquifer on the northwest side of the Calb, there is an estimated, there's capacity throughout it, but near where our treatment plant is, we could possibly generate a very kind of a low-key, about 1 million gallons a day that would help balance off this estimation that was in our 10-year study. In order to do that, we have to test the location to make sure where that well might go, and the shaft that would go down for it actually hits the target, or if it's off, then we would know, and we wouldn't go to the full extent and cost of drilling a shallow well there. And the only way to do that is to test. And so what this contract does is to provide a contract with Belvedere Farms, which is proximate to the city. There's a little picture, I'm sorry for the small scale, in your background, but it's right at the end of our city limits on the south side of West Lincoln Highway, just a little bit off of where President Boulevard is, and you see a picture here of where that is. And on that frontage is where we'd like to do the test well, and then we can run what's called a raw main under the road, so it's untreated, but the water goes then to the treatment plant on the north side of Lincoln Highway, around where the existing water tower is, gets treated there, and then it flows into the system. So this is just to get the rights to go out and to drill that hole. It also, anticipating we might actually hit the target, that we'd be able then to move directly to a contract to purchase. We need a little over an acre. The per acre price is part of this. If for some reason we don't hit the right location and we decide this is not the site for our well, all we have to pay for is any crop damage that's been incurred in the course, and we get the balance back that we'd use to go to the next farm and see what we can do. So this has been a methodical thing. I want to thank Andy Rye for helping me with this, and others. And it's before you tonight. We hope you will support it. Then we will move quickly to begin the test well. It might take about 30 days or so. And then we'll probably be back to you and let you know what happened.
Council, questions, comments? It's not a sexy project, but oh my gosh. You know, when it comes to economic development, water, power, waste treatment, those are important things. To me, that's exciting stuff. So I'm looking forward to seeing this continue to come to fruition. All right, roll call, please.
Carlson.
Yes.
Powell.
Yes.
Verbic.
Yes.
Walker.
Yes.
Zazata.
Yes.
Carlson. I'm
Yes
sorry,
again?
Larson.
Yes.
Smith.
Yes.
Mayor Barnes.
Yes. Resolution 2025-087 passes overwhelmingly. All right, moving on to number 6, Resolution 2025-088, authorizing the purchase of one Rosenbauer EXT pumper in the amount of $950,894 with upfitting costs of up to $49,106 for a total not to exceed $1 million using GEMT Fund 130. Can I have a motion to bring it to the floor?
So moved. Second.
Moved by Alderman Smith, seconded by Alderman Carlson. City Manager.
Thank you, Mayor. As many of you know, we've celebrated the arrival of our $1.6 million brand new truck, Rosenbauer truck, and we have that in service now. I want to thank Acting Chief Howison for organizing that process and bringing it to fruition. And so we weren't planning on buying another or committing to buy another engine very soon. We've been using an engine that was in reserve, engine number 4 for, guess what, Station 4. It's been working pretty well, but we wanted to, because it takes about 2 years normally to order and have an engine built, we decided to check the market and see where we were cost-wise so we could begin to plan for the funding of this, fit it in either in the budget that you'll be working on in the next couple of months to finish up for '26 or '27. And we found, to our surprise, that the inflation in the price of these kinds of very specialized fire apparatus has gone up considerably. In fact, as I say, you saw my background where I really spell it out. If we were to wait till this time next year to begin the process of making a commitment, it would cost us another $100,000 or more. So why is this? Certainly there's demand, but there's always been demand for good engines, good ambulances, whatever, in the fire service. But there have been changes in our investment markets. There are people who have a lot of capital looking for boutique kinds of businesses, and are looking to, there's a kind of a merger craze, I guess you would say. So the number of agencies now that can build these from start to finish according to the specs of the end user are much slimmer than they were even 5 years ago. And that now is driving up the price. So that instead of inflation of 3 to 5%, we're looking at around 20% and up. So I thank Acting Chief Howison for coming to me and saying, look, we've got some money in our GEMT fund. Now would be the time to do that, and we wouldn't have to pay the money until the end of '26, maybe even into '27. And we've used that same logic. You know, we have bought on the come, I guess, the couple of engines and ambulances in the past. The particular vendor, in this case, Rosenbauer, has always worked with us. They're willing to sit on this price until they deliver the engine, which is a year from now, and that's pretty generous. But we've been a good customer. And we've looked at the two other leading competitors, Sutphen and Pierce, and in one way or another, they're either not up to our spec or they're more expensive. So this kind of came upon us. I'm glad it did, because I'd rather not pay what we don't have to pay if we have the means to do it now. The GEMT fund has been a godsend to us, and as long as we continue to receive that revenue, and even if we didn't receive any more, we have enough for this particular engine. So I recommend this approval tonight.
Council, questions, comments? Yes, Alderman Larson.
And this goes back over the last couple things we voted on here. Back to the police getting all of their units under the same company. I mean, that makes such a difference for maintenance and all that usability. And then the fire department continuing along with our streets, like looking ahead to plan ahead so that we get a cheaper price on this year's model when we're ordering and stuff like that. All those dollars are really adding up. It's, yeah. And the fact that you'll have all Rosenbauer then, so, yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, very cool, very cool.
Any other comments or questions, Council? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Powell,
Yes.
Verbic,
Yes.
Walker,
Yes.
Zazada,
Yes.
Larson,
Yes,
Smith,
Yes.
Carlson,
Yes.
Mayor Barnes.
Yes. Resolution 2025-088 passes. All right, moving on to agenda item K, ordinances, second reading, we have none. Agenda item L1, yes, that is ordinance 2025-042, authorizing boundary modifications to the area known as the DeKalb County Enterprise Zone, Amendment 5, Southeast DeKalb Industrial Expansion. Can I have a motion to bring it to the floor?
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Alderwoman Zazada, seconded by Alderman Powell. City Manager.
Thank you. We have with us tonight Melissa Amidio, who has been very patiently sitting in the audience, and she is the Executive Director of the DeKalb County Economic Development Corporation and also the Administrator of the Enterprise Zone. And what's before you tonight is an amendment to the area that has been known as the DeKalb County Enterprise Zone. Did you want to speak beforehand, or you don't need to? Okay. Okay. Since the creation of the Enterprise Zone, which was done by some certification and some local action back in 2015, officially the Enterprise Zone for DeKalb County started on January 1, 2016. Since that time, there have been a number of amendments. Now, let me just explain to you who's in this enterprise zone and who makes decisions about this. There are, according to our state statute, certain designating units, and they are public bodies: the City of DeKalb, City of Sycamore, the Town of Cortland, the City of Genoa, the City of Sandwich, the Village of Waterman, and the County of DeKalb. Those are the designated units of government. Now, there are also voting members that attend our Enterprise Zone Advisory Board, or they're not voting, but they are interested local taxing bodies, school districts, parks, and so forth. But the designating units make the decision, the principal decision on the amending of the area of the enterprise zone. And so what? Well, the enterprise zone, frankly, is the reason why we are having interest from larger companies, corporate companies, world-class companies, and the like, because there are two levels of benefit. One is at the state level, and the state of Illinois is willing to forgive its 1% sales tax on materials that are purchased in the state of Illinois to use on the construction of buildings. There's also a gas benefit, but I'm not going to go into it. It's not as considerable. At the local level, it's these other taxing bodies in the city of DeKalb who together, when there is a company coming to our city, can take advantage of the enterprise zone property tax abatement. And we have done that, as you know, successfully with a number of companies who, frankly, would not have come here without that assistance. The area of interest continues to grow. And specifically, and there are some pictures here, there are some parcels that are of interest now to the company that purchased the Golden Farm about a year ago. And this council annexed and zoned that Golden Farm, and then we learned later that Karis Acquisitions had purchased that farm and is interested in other parcels nearby for future development. And it comes to 259 acres. With this, if you approve this, the total for the enterprise zone in our county would be about 15.6 square miles. We have, under state guidelines, a limit in our county right now of 20 square miles. So there still is growth that could happen in any of these designating unit areas. This is a request that has already been to the Illinois Department of Agriculture, naturally, because we're talking about taking some farmland out of commodity production. And the Department of Agriculture has approved this amendment, did so in mid-July. And the Department of Commerce and Economic Opportunity is waiting to take this up pending your action tonight. We strongly recommend your support.
Council, questions or comments? Hearing none. It's amazing it's been a little over 10 years, because Bill and I both were on the board of directors for DCDC when this was all transpiring, so it's cool to see it evolve. All right, roll call, please.
Verbic.
Yes.
Walker.
Yes.
Zazada.
Yes.
Larson.
Yes.
Smith.
Yes.
Carlson.
Yes.
Powell.
Yes.
Mayor Barnes.
Yes. Ordinance 2025-042 is passed on first reading. I would take a motion to waive second reading.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Alderman Powell, seconded by Alderman Carlson. Any comments or questions on that? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Walker.
Yes.
Zazada.
Yes.
Larson.
Yes.
Smith.
Yes.
Carlson.
Yes.
Powell.
Yes.
Verbic.
Yes.
Mayor Barnes.
Yes. Second reading has been waived for ordinance
Thank you.
2025-042. All right, that brings us on to agenda item L2. We do have a speaker request form, Gina Berardi. And Gina, just a reminder, it's 3 minutes, but you know that, you're an old pro.
Hello, Council, Mayor, City. I'm here tonight because I've had several members of my neighborhood to come and speak tonight regarding the Fisk Avenue property. You want to change it to an NC from a PDR. We're a little worried because last time, like Ben Carlson said that there was a business owner that wanted to put a hotel with a lounge right across the street from CRMS and in our neighborhood along with a park. So that concerns us of putting that back to an NC, which does not get Mr. Sawyer off the hook because he came to us and told he's gonna build this great big apartment there and they're gonna be great apartments, and we sat and waited. Well, it gave headaches to everybody on DeKalb Avenue, Pond Street, Fisk Avenue, First Street, Sycamore Road, and nothing is done. And we've grown tired of it. And I'm really grateful for the council, the mayor, and the city, and everybody doing something. Because there was one of the residents' backyard to your property. And there was traffic of squatters partying, kids going through, and they had to have the police come, pull an officer off the street to maintain it and watch your property. It's not right. Those officers have more important things to do. So I ask you tonight, and I'm hoping you have a plan. You're a grown man with a grown business. You shouldn't have 1,000 excuses, only a child does. So I'm hoping tonight it's taken consideration about not putting it as commercial, and I'm hoping he has a plan. Thank you.
Thank you, Gina. All right, this is ordinance L2, ordinance 2025-034, repealing ordinance 2022-070, which approved a zoning map amendment from the NC Neighborhood Commercial District to the PDR Planned Development Residential District and the preliminary development plan for the property at 145 Fisk Avenue. Can I have a motion to bring it to the floor?
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Alderman Carlson, seconded by Alderman Powell. City Manager.
Thank you, Mayor. The hearing back in late July as to whether the council should repeal the adopting ordinance for this property led to council discussion, and the council recommended that we work with Mr. Saucer to address a number of things which are outlined in your background tonight. Mr. Saucer's here tonight to speak for himself on this. One of those was the prompt payment of the outstanding property maintenance fines, and that was done during that week following the council meeting. The building is just recently received some new plywood board ups for the exterior windows and doors. That was requested. That work, I don't know if it's finished tonight, but Mr. Saucer can address that. There's according to the original council approval back in 2022, there was to be a photometric plan, a lighting plan, and landscape plan. I think Mr. Saucer submitted the lighting plan, is that correct? And then, but the one thing that is still outstanding before something like this could proceed would be your approval following the Plan Commission review of a final engineering plan for this site. That has not been completed, I believe. There is an engineering firm, Willett Hoffman, that's been engaged to do this, but I believe with their work, previous work committed to, that they're looking at maybe the end of October before that plan is ready to be submitted to you. So that's, in terms of a status, that is what I know, and Mr. Saucer maybe could address questions from the council about anything else you may want to ask about.
For clarification, before I go for discussion, I mean, most, if not all of our concerns from the last meeting, it's my understanding, have been addressed.
The big one is the final plan,
Yep.
and that's, the others are not
But
as
updating the
complicated.
windows, taking care of some of the maintenance that need to happen. I think he brought electricity to the building. And I don't know if council's been receiving, but I've been getting regular updates from Mr. Saucer of the progress that's been going on. So that was good to see. We wanted to see progress, wanted to see commitment from the owner himself, and he has done everything that I think he said he was going to do and that we asked of him from the last meeting. Does that sound correct to everyone?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, all right. Well, comments or questions, council? And Mr. Saucer is here. Yes, Alderwoman Larson.
I just want to say that being involved in a lot of larger house projects or building from scratch kind of things, that it's usually, you have to get on a builder's or the contractor's or the architect's work list, you know, and if something happens where you have to pull away from that, and you don't just hop right back in, you almost have to go to the back of the line and wait your turn to get back up to what he's working on. And I just want to remind everybody that Mr. Saucer had put out that he had some health issues, and that's why he had to back away. So that's why I was willing to give a redo to let him try to make up for that lost time, to be back on that. So and he has been giving updates, and so I'm absolutely still supportive and still, as you said, very hopeful, because the drawings look fabulous. It would be a wonderful addition to DeKalb and the neighborhood, but we're all really getting anxious. So, but I'm still hanging in there. I would still support this.
Any other comments or questions? All right. Oh, yes, Alderman Powell.
I still support it. I still want to see it move forward and see some action. He's been in touch. Sounds like he's taking some strides forward, but I want to see some progress still. Get it done for the neighborhood.
All right, so this is to extend ultimately to the end of October. I assume this would come back to us the first meeting in November, let's say. Oh, yes, do you want to say something, Mr. Johnson? You may, yes.
I'll try and be as brief as possible because I know these meetings
Please.
get long. So, yes, we're getting really close on stuff. The final photometric plan was just submitted. Again, the final photometrics and landscape, we've been working with the city, but they can't finally be finalized till the final plat gets done. Initially, I've made it very, very clear to Willett Hoffman that time is of the essence, and initially it was going to be September, and then it was late September, early October, and then this is late October. So I think they do work on a lot of projects with the city, so I believe they've told that to the city staff as well. So yes, unfortunately, this might be a small project to them, while it's all important to all of us. You know, switching to another engineer would only kick the can down 6 more months, so I didn't want to do that. So we're kind of at their mercy, but I know they're working on that, you know, quickly. As far as all the boarding of the windows, that's all complete. There's except for there's like 5 windows that the lift would not reach. So we're just going to have those the highest windows that can't get there, so that the carpenter will switch. They're boarded, but they need to be freshened up. So we'll have the carpenters do that. The temporary electric has been inspected by the city. We're just waiting on ComEd to connect that. And that for the neighbors here, once that temporary power gets turned on, then we can get some security lighting, which I think will be the biggest problem solver for any kind of people wandering through the area. Last week, I was made aware of, or I was given a letter forwarded to me by the city, by some of the neighbors on Fisk Avenue, DeKalb Avenue, and I responded to that. So I don't know if you're all aware of that letter or got my response, but it was relaying some of the concerns on so forth, the people coming through there. And also, one of the parcels that abuts the property that does not have a fence, 2 or 3 of them do have a fence. And that may be a smaller apartment complex with a parking lot. So it's a place for people to cut through. And they kind of requested, it would be great to get a fence in there. And while that's part of the plan for the whole building, and that would probably be one of the later things to have go in after construction, I would be amenable to trying to get that put in much sooner, just to stop any kind of flow of traffic to go through there. So I think that would probably help. So
I think it'd be greatly appreciated by the neighbors. Yep.
And then, you know, in that letter, I passed along my phone number and email. So please give me a call. Come see me anytime you have any questions or concerns. I'm here. I'm with you that I want to, you know, improve the neighborhood and stop any people that are passing through from causing any mischief. But I do, you know, have spoken with 3 or 4 of the budding neighbors. I see them weekly. You know, Mr. Brooks at 201 Fisk, Mike Kerrigan at 202 Sycamore Road, Mr. Delano, the building at 506 North First, and Mr. Carlson at 430 North First. So they all have my number. So, and I haven't heard anything from them, but by all means, if you have any other concerns beyond that, please let me know.
All right, thank you. Any other comments or questions, council? Hearing none, roll call, please, then? What?
Mayor,
Yes.
just want to
Yeah, go
clarify.
ahead, Alderman Smith.
Gene,
Sorry.
are you okay with that? That'll change my vote, seriously. How's that for a straight answer? Will it work? Okay, thank you.
fence feels a lot better, and it's just,
Actually,
Sorry.
yeah, and normally, we're good on that standpoint. Actually, our ordinance, we don't engage. It's actually our ordinance, if I remember right, that's not allowed, so, yes.
Correct, but I did want to say, if the intent is to continue this to
That's what I was going.
another meeting, that there'll need to be a motion to table it in a second. So there was a motion to bring the underlying ordinance to be considered, but not a motion to table it.
To the October, well, first week, or first meeting in November,
Yeah.
then,
If
per
you
the
wanna-
extension
if you wanna
request from
have a
Mr.
specific
Saucer.
date, you can do that. Yeah.
Correct, City Manager?
That's correct, but, well, I think what the city attorney's saying is that somebody needs to move
Yeah.
and second, and, yeah.
Yeah, so we need
I'll make a
to
motion
table.
then to table this until November 10th.
Second.
Moved by Alderman Smith, seconded by Alderman Powell. Any comments or questions on that, council? Hearing none, roll call, please, then?
Zazada,
Yes.
Larson,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Carlson,
Yes.
Powell,
Yes.
Verbic,
Yes.
Walker,
Yes.
Mayor Barnes.
Yes. So the motion to table ordinance 2025-034 has passed. Keep up the good work, Mr. Saucer. Love seeing that. So, and City Attorney, that supersedes the original motion. Okay, all right. So then we move on to agenda item M, reports and communications. Council member reports. Alderman Carlson, you want to kick us off?
Yes. I've now been in this job for 4 months, and I'm sorry to report a fourth person that has lived in DeKalb my whole life passed away. I just found out today, Ginny Cook, owner of Virgil Cook and Son, 103 years old she would have been next month. I went to her 102nd birthday last year. The other three people I mentioned in these last 4 months, Mary Simons, Elmer, my next door neighbor, and Maury Drury, Elmer Brown, sorry. These are DeKalbians, and why I bring them up, they've lived here longer than a lot of us have been alive. They helped build this city. They helped maintain it. They raised families here. And Ginny was so sweet to me, always taught me, always treated me great since I was a kid all the way till the last time I saw her. She was a great woman, and I always want to mention these great DeKalbians when they leave us, and hopefully we carry on their tradition. With that same thing, in these last 4 months, I receive a lot of calls and emails over my vote. And last city council, I received quite a few of them. What I love about it, though, is it's an ability to talk about it, to hear my words of why I'm voting this way, but then also hear what they're thinking. So keep it coming. Keep the emails coming. Keep the phone calls. Keep being engaged. You haven't scared me off in 4 months. I'm still here. And I'm going to keep doing this, and I just love from hearing everybody. It really does give me pride in this town.
Something about the water in your ward. I mean, everyone's living like 100+ years old.
I know, 90, it is amazing, but all four.
great.
And I call them DeKalb legends. I really do.
Alderwoman Larson.
No report.
Alderwoman Zazada.
No report.
Alderman Smith.
No report.
Alderman Powell.
I had a chance to attend the IML conference. It was good. It was educational. I had a chance to go on a ride along with the PD, and I rode with an officer that transferred out. I can't remember from where, but he gave praise to everything that the council does for the department and the support and the tools, and he said that the administration is part of the reason he chose DeKalb from where he was. He gave praise to the landlords in that situation, Bob. Said landlords are more compliant and they're more helping them clean up and get things in control. But he just gave a lot of praise to all the tools and the support from the staff, administration in-house, all the way to council, city manager, mayor, and just wanted to share that.
That's awesome. Alderman Walker.
Yeah, I just got a question, if I could, for the city attorney. So I just want to understand this is going forward, so I'll know next time. So amending a vote, you don't need a majority of the council to do that, to push, according to Robert's rule, right?
To amend for the amending of the agenda, or to?
Yeah,
Just
yeah,
to
for
amend
the
a
agenda.
vote in
Yeah,
general?
for the agenda.
A motion to amend I
Yes,
guess
sir.
is what your question?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, you need a majority of the council members.
No, okay.
Alderman Verbeek.
This Thursday, the DeKalb Park District has a meeting for master planning at 6 o'clock at the Hopkins Park Community Center. A number of residents have contacted me about the proposed path, additional path, which would go in Ward 6 behind Yorkshire Drive, the Kensington subdivision. So that's a perfect opportunity for those with concerns to bring those to your park board commissioners this Thursday night. Otherwise, I'd like to wish a very happy birthday to former Mayor Jerry Smith. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Me, be real quick, was at the IML conference as well. Great conference. It was just a lot of good sessions. Even the ones that I should say that weren't good always triggered thought of, hey, I didn't think of that. So you always leave with information, which is good. Also, I participated in the Be the One walk. That is a walk that is put on by the American Legion. It's about raising awareness and raising funds to combat suicide with our veterans. Right now, it's 22 veterans take their life every single solitary day, which is a staggering stat. And it was just wonderful to see. Their first year was last year. They had 125 people. They had 250 people this year. So the support was just wonderful. Spoke to the Bruce Griffiths Youth Leadership Academy, which is seniors from all the high schools in the districts surrounding the area. They have to listen to me talk for an hour and a half. I feel so sorry for them. But it seems like there's something that they glom onto, and they ask me back every year, which is great. Also attended Troop 4, their Boy Scout Troop 4, their 100th anniversary. Scouting has only been in this country, I think, like 135 years. We have a continuously chartered troop, and the really cool thing, they asked me to come and talk, because that's where I got my Eagle Scout when I was a kid at Troop 4. So that was just a neat connection to have, and a wonderful event, well attended. Senator Sue Resin was out speaking as well. It was great to see the support they had. Also met with Emily Faulkner, the executive director of the library, just talking about tax rates, talking about appointments to her board. Met with Dan Kenny, as I mentioned. We also had the kickoff to the America 250. For those of you who don't know, next year is the anniversary of the signing of the Declaration of Independence, the 250th anniversary. There are organizations across the United States, especially the state of Illinois, and us included. We'll be talking about more of that as the budget season turns around, about what are we going to do to take advantage of this incredible opportunity. We met on September 11th. That was strategic with the polarization of politics out there today. If we all remember where we were on that day. And if there was a unifying event that brought the entire country together, and didn't matter what party, that was it. The anniversary of the signing of the Declaration of Independence should be exactly the same thing. We are not a nation of soloists, right, Bill? We are a choir of shared values. And that's what we need to remind ourselves of. So it was a great event. Lots of organizations showed up. Interviewed a potential city engineer, which was good to move forward on that. Attended the Sigma Nu pig roast. That's a great a great fraternity on campus, on Greek Row, part of Northern Illinois University, that is one of the strongest out there that leans in continuously in community activities, giving back to the community and taking care of the neighborhood that they live in. Great, great group of individuals. Also met with the DeKalb Park District around some graffiti that they've been having in their park. Anyone, I don't care who you are, I don't care what political persuasion you are, if you think it's appropriate that you can express your political views in the form of graffiti in a public park, I want to triple, quadruple the amount we fine people for something like that. They literally are destroying one of our beautiful parks that we have. Also met with Mary Hess from DeKalb Township, just making sure I continue to understand what she's doing. She knows what we're doing, which is great. And I have a monthly meeting with Chris Boyes, who is the president of the school board. Met with him, again, just to make sure we're all on the same page. We have an understanding of what's going on in our organization so we can figure out how to work together. And attended a webinar and training on housing from a national perspective and what's available out there to help with that issue. So it's been a busy couple of weeks for sure. With that, City Manager, you got anything?
No report.
All right. So with that, I would take a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Oh, wait, no, we have a closed session, don't we?
Yes.
Yeah, sorry, I didn't flip the page. We haven't had one in a while. All right, moving on to agenda item N, executive session. I would take a motion to, I don't remember the verbiage, it's been a while, to move to executive session for the approval to hold an executive session meeting to discuss personnel as provided for in 5 ILCS 120/2C1. Can I have a motion to move to executive session?
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Alderman Verbeek, seconded by Alderwoman Zazada. With that, we are.
Roll call.
Roll call.
Zazada,
Yes.
Larson,
Until it's been a while.
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Carlson,
Yes.
Powell,
Yes.
Verbic,
Yes.
Walker,
Yes.
Mayor Barnes.
Yes, so we are moving into executive session. That means you all, you don't have to go home, but you can't stay here. So have a wonderful night, everybody. Thanks for coming out.